What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. It's been reported that over in California that two women who were kayaking in the ocean actually got swallowed by a humpback whale, and it was caught on film. As they were out there kayaking, the whale surfaced and swallowed them whole. Now, fortunately for them, the whale, whales don't really eat people, and it didn't like the taste of him, and he actually wound up spitting them out. So they survived, I guess thankfully, but I think they learned a very valuable lesson about where they decide to go out and have their water recreation. Now, I was raised by the ocean, and I actually did do a lot of kayaking in the ocean. That was kind of like one of our, summertime activities. But, there are things that you're taught and things that you learn growing up by the ocean that, just to watch out for certain signs. One of the things that I noticed very specifically in this video where it shows them getting swallowed by the whale was all the birds were flying away. All the birds were getting away from the water as fast as they could. So when you see stuff like that, when certain types of scavenger or other types of animals are trying to get away from a certain area, it's probably best that you do the same thing. Animals have instincts that will, give you a great alarm as to what's going on in your area. Also, you have to watch out for how the water warps in that area. Whales make a very, very definitive warping of the water when they're surfacing, because how a lot of whales eat is they just kind of just open their mouth and suck in as much water as they can, and they don't really chew on things. What they do is they filter whatever food that they're trying to eat, whether it be like krill or plankton or something like, something small. They filter that out and they push the water out through their, I forget what it's called. It's a certain type of like these little filaments that they have in their mouth. It's not teeth though, so they kind of just push that out, and that's how they eat and consume stuff so that they can get their bellies full. But obviously, these women weren't prepared for that. I'm sure it was a very scary experience. By the way, I'm sure for the time that they were in this whale's mouth, they were trying to think of what they were going to do in this situation. But I saw the video, and what it made me think of. Well, first, let me just say this: I love seeing ocean life, especially whales. I think whales are beautiful. I think they're majestic. I think they're one of the most amazing animals that God has created and put in the ocean. It's amazing to see videos like if you watch Blue Planet or one of those National Geographic programs about sea life and getting to see the whales, how they move, how they sleep, how they're very caring and basically they actually do have a community within their pods. That's what they're called when they get their families together. It's called a pod. And seeing how they interact with each other, it's amazing to see. I think they're one of the most beautiful creatures here on Earth. The sad thing is, living on this planet, there's another creature that does a lot of harm to the whales, and has been doing harm to whales for centuries, and that's, man, more specifically, the white man. The white man, once they figure out that they can use an animal for some sort of resource, then, nature be damned, they're just going to use it all up. And I'm not saying other cultures don't do that, but I think other cultures have a better sense of not going overboard when it comes to taking from nature. Other cultures, it seems like they were raised, or they just have a better sense of, we're all on this planet together, and maybe you take something, but you give something back as well. It's not just all take for your own gain, and the consequences be damned. The sad thing is, not only is the whales being taken away by just, being hunted or run into by boats or whatever. But you got all these pollutants out there doing damage to the whales. There have been several stories of these whales washing up on beaches, just like within the last like 2 weeks or so. A lot of whales have been just washing up on the beach, and it's very disturbing to see that. I don't like to see that, because whales, they're actually very intelligent. They're not dumb creatures. They're probably one of the most intelligent creatures on this planet. Save human beings and primates. So they're very intelligent mammals, and it's sad to see them having to deal with certain things like this, having to deal with people and all people's trash, whether it be actual trash or rather it be like some sort of radiation or oil spill or whatever. So sad to see. So when I saw the video of the whale swallowing those two women, I was like, that's kind of like nature taking a little bit of a bite back. Now, if nature wanted to, if that whale wanted to, he could have just consumed them or taken them down to the bottom of the ocean and spit them out there. Now, had he had done that, they'd have drowned because there's no way they would have been able to surface fast enough, right? But he didn't do that. But I think they got a good lesson, and I think people should realize when they see things like that if nature wanted to, it could do people a lot of damage, and people need to realize and understand how to watch out for certain habitats. Because I don't even get upset when I see stuff like a shark biting someone. That's what a shark is supposed to do. Or if there's situations where like a tiger or a hippo winds up biting a chunk or taking off a limb for somebody, I don't feel bad at all. That's what they're supposed to do, right? Even animals that are usually a lot more peaceful, when they strike out, I don't really feel bad because that's if someone's poking at them. Like I just saw a video the other day where this man was poking at an orangutan at a zoo, and the orangutan grabbed the dude's leg and wouldn't let go. I was like, well, dude, you just stuck then. You're stuck like Chuck. this orangutan is way stronger than you are, and no one could do anything to get this guy's leg away from the orangutan. It's up to the orangutan whether he wants to let go or not. He could keep your leg, and your leg will just be torn off, and that'll just be the end of that, right? So that's what I mean. It's like I don't feel bad when stuff like that happens to people because, once again, nature is its own thing, and you have to respect it. And a lot of these human creatures here on Earth do not have any respect whatsoever for nature. So, one thing that I'll say this before I go. Just shout out to Sister Ajali Shabazz, aka the Radical Home Sister. She's the one that inspired me to even do this video because I saw the video of the women getting eaten by the whales, and I had seen her video talking about the whales washing up on the beach because of man-made radiation and stuff, and the pollution and the destruction of the ocean because of the fallout from that reactor in Fukushima. And I just felt like I had to talk about that based on some of the videos that she's put out there and the content that she puts out, and I appreciate her content. And I knew she would appreciate seeing nature striking back. So I sent her, I made sure I linked the video to her on Facebook so she could see it herself. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And you folks can let me know what you think about it in the comment section. It can be extremely beautiful or extremely savage, and it can change on the dime. Once again, I enjoy looking at animals and whales and stuff, but I also like to keep a safe distance as well. I like to have enough respect for it to not get myself entangled in Mother Nature. I try to keep away from it, but take a look at it as best I can. I remember when we went on vacation in the Gulf not too long ago, maybe like 2 years ago, there was like this giant stork, and it was beautiful. I was taking pictures of it, but from far away. That's why they invented the zoom lens. I didn't have to get all up on it to take a picture of it. This thing was taller than I was, so I was like, I'm not going to try to get any closer. That bill could impale me very easily if he decided to get upset. So, you folks can let me know what you think about nature taking a big gulp out of these two Beckys here and let me know some of your experiences of seeing nature strike back. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.